Alright guys, hello and welcome back to the channel. This is the Omni-Crab and today we are playing the Merc Storia Collab. Now look at this banner. There's 2 units in here and rare tickets, normal CAD tickets. This is one of the greats when it comes to collabs, I've heard. And there's tons of new stages out. The big one though is Healer Awakens, because with this collab we can get Healer, one of the most famous collab units and one of the best units in the game. He can permafreeze. He's a very unique unit, but I can't wait to get him. He's one of the strongest. There's so many strategies for it, and a 20 collab only unit banner. So it's just like the Princess Punts, Puny Punts banner, where it's only collab units. So I'm definitely going to get them, get some plus levels, and look at all of these missions for Merc Storia. So I will say I'm very excited to hop right into it. So I don't know which stage to do first, because the Awakened stages are clearly boss stages for true forms. That's always how they work. And oh, look at this. Real quick, I just went to collect my Gamatoto's report, but look at that. There's a little thing here called Toto, who is increasing my XP drop from this, which really isn't saying too much because, Gamatoto hardly gets any XP. It's really about, like, the cat's eyes or, like, the power-ups or power items, and I think I'm the only one who uses it to farm for power items, but still. So that's not really why. That's not really going to help too much, but I guess it's a sweet little bonus if you're, like, a beginner at the game. Plus, it's fun to just get more XP for free. So, without further ado, the first thing I have planned is I'm recording this a bit after I recorded the intro, Trials of Merc Storia. I've actually gone to level 10. So, if these curtains would pull away, Healer and Co. level 10. Now, I'm pretty sure these, like, gauntlets for collab events, always, they have, like, 20 stages. The first 10 are pretty easy. The last 10 are impossible. Well, not impossible, but they're a lot harder. So look, as I figured, the first 10 are just not the hardest in the world. To be fair, though, you've got to see the team that I brung for this. Like, I was never going to struggle with a team like this. But I did do all 9 because for most gauntlets, all the way up until stage at least 8, it's going to be a real easy time, even for, like, the Baron gauntlets. Well, actually, okay, not for the Barons. The Barons just suck in general. But these ones are pretty fun, although it's pretty unique because I've never seen so many collab units. Like for Evangelion, they have really cool big boss units that are just the angels, but they don't have as many little custom units, at least not as enemies. But I guess the way this collab works is like they have all of their units double as enemies and units that you can use. So they just save time like making units because they can just, they have a banner of only these units, so no wonder they have a ton. So, of course, Dashley is going to crush anything. This healer is very strong pusher, though, I will say. Just going to send out Hades, but he is pushing pretty hard. Looks like everything else is relatively weak. That's good. I do wonder, though, if this is the stage for the first half, what the stage for the second half is going to look like. Yeah, but look at all those little units that just don't even do anything. Like all of these add-on units, like they're just peons. But I guess they just wanted to use all of these designs. And Hades already got knocked back, so let's just keep going. Just gonna start sending out everything. These peons, as much as I don't know what half of them do because they just get destroyed by Dashley's Surge, I wonder if they are like actually doing any real effect, or if they're just getting cursed and instant knockback by all these surges that they don't even get to. Like that little Modoc thing, I don't even know what it's doing, but whatever it's doing, hope it would stop because they look like they're actually pushing really close. That's not the best. Oh, actually, there's a bit of synergy between that guy and, well, okay, it's a woman thing, but can't quite say what it is. A little bit of synergy between that and Healer, just because Healer, like, he has a long force swing, or not a long force swing, but a long time before he attacks again, so it's easy to stall him, but she pushes in that time, which allows him to push. So that is quite annoying. I'm just going to push them back. I really need to improve the cannon I bring on these levels, but otherwise, first 10 are cleared. Now I just need to worry about whatever the next 10 will bring. I'm not quite sure if all of these enemies are traitless. Like, I assume that they are. Most collab units are only ever going to be traitless or floating. It really doesn't get much different from there, because it's, like, hard to say that, like, I don't know, one of these characters from Merc Storia is, like, a red enemy. Like, that's just not going to happen. So I might just deck this out with a little bit more traitless, but I think she's still good against traitless just because if they're floating, she'll knock them back. which the threats really were floating, so that's good. And then against traitless, she just has even more damage. Plus surges always help with peon units. And Hades is good until the DPS is too much. He can stall any like amount of damage forever, but it's really dependent on if tanks are good in the stage or not, is if Hades will be useful or not. So boom, we're gonna destroy this. I wonder when I'll get my first of these units, because it looks like there's a lot of units you can get. I know I have to roll the banner, but I'm seed tracking, so I'm actually saving doing that for something else. But I will say I think I can get the first 2 units out of this collab right now. So I'm actually going to do that. So I beat the level 10, and let's just roll twice on here. So let's get, oh look, it's the floating thing that I had just fought. Um, it's kind of Modoc looking. Oh, another collab unit called Ray. That's kind of funny. So she might slow blacks. So she's a status caster. No, I'm so used to Monster Legends terminology. They're a crowd controller, so that might be good. And Norn. All right, what does he do? You can kind of guess by like what they do if they'll be good or not. If they target like a power creep trait. So small chance to freeze red, that might be good. I will say good freeze units are very rare to come by just because freeze, like if you can perma freeze any kind of enemy, you've like, broken the enemy. Like it's hard to like I don't know how to say this. But for floating, like with the Necro Dancer, a lot of them are designed to where Necro Dancer won't be a problem. Like they'll just outrange him or just be too aggressive or immune to freeze. Just because if you can freeze an enemy trait, then that enemy trait is basically done for. So that's why they always have flaws like low range or long force swing or stuff like that. So I wonder if this guy will be any good. Join from the Merc Storia. I will say it's funny how some of these collab units just look like normal units, and then the other ones just have like their own custom little photo thing. So that's funny looking. So we have Norn who freezes reds, and they don't have a true form it looks like, so I'm going to assume they're not the best. And second off, we have the Modoc, Ray. Joined from the Merc Storia. I have run out of XP. Oh no. So I do want to see if she has a true form though, because she's a super rare, so there's a lot higher chance that she has a true form. So I have a lot of these. I'm just going to sell some. So boom, she is a super rare though, so she has a lot more XP that she needs. So I'll just get around that much. Hopefully that gets her to level 20. So boom. Although I will say, pretty bad market to be in to target like status casters against blacks because we do have Rodeo and Bomber Cat who are very broken. So I can't say that I have high hopes, but boom, boom, boom at level 20 and no true form. So hopefully she's good. If anything, I'll just use her in like Legends Quest or the um, Underground Labyrinth, where you get to use these units that you'd never use and free user rank. So boom, 5 rare cat's eyes. That's quite good. I'm starting to really like appreciate cat's eyes because I can just ultra buff like the really good units. Also, I like that you can separate units by level now, so I can just go to see who I've maxed out. Like Ramen Cat, Courier, Shigong, Cone Cat. I need at level 50. He is completely broken. Ji Shang-Chi, yeah, just a lot of these stat-based units is fun to max out. And looking at Low Crystal Gao Gao or Garu Garu, there's actually another super good collab meat shield that's in this banner. So I'm gonna get that probably around next video. But kind of weird that 2 collab banners have really broken anti-black meat shields. Seems like it would be a niche category, but not really. So boom, Healer and Company 11. We're just gonna try the same team and see how much harder this one is. Um, but actually, I think I'm going to try 2 things. Going to remove you and you. I want to see if these are heavily traitless enemies, which I'm guessing this one is going to be. I want to throw in some anti-traitless units. So, Brainwashed Erasure. I said that so wrong, but we're going to ignore that. And Valiant D'Artagnan. And see if these guys help any. Um, so just because a lot of these units were like traitless, and I feel like Healer would get destroyed by D'Artagnan. So boom, what does it have to throw out here? Just gonna send out both of these units. Of course, Manic Eraser is a little bit faster, and does that thing have a bird for a head? That's supremely funny looking, but he's getting stalled. Okay, so that's a traitless enemy and that's a floating enemy. And look, two floating, two traitless. So as I said, hefty bit of traitless in these stages. Might just focus on traitless and anti-floating, like something strong for anti-floating. Kind of wish I had Ramiel. That would be really good. Like that'd be actually exactly what I'm saying. Ramiel is amazing. But sadly, I didn't get him when the Evangelion banner was on. I got like the Air Citadel. I don't know what it's called, but that tells you how little I use it instead of it because I thought it'd be better because it was an anti-zombie. Worst choice of my life. I should have just gotten Ramiel, the 6 Angel. Plus, I'm pretty sure that Evangelion, the banner, is not coming back because there was a weird like goodbye thing, but I'm not sure what that was about. I'll admit. So boom, yeah, look at that. Cassie is doing really good crowd control on these floating enemies because she's just slowing them, and D'Artagnan is just tearing apart healer. Now D'Artagnan only barely outranges healer, so he's getting knocked back easily. But look, he's strengthened. He's gonna keep tearing him apart. So boom, all right. Plus he can use stepping stones. This is just great. So I wonder if there's gonna be a big boss or if it's still just healer. So, yeah, it looks like there's a lot more. Okay, it's funny because I just changed my team to have more traitless counters, but it's clear now I need floating counters because this stage is almost entirely floating units. And look at that, another floating unit. These things look really cool though. Um, really have no clue what franchise they're from. Well, okay, I know they're from Merc Storia, but I don't know if that's a video game franchise or like an anime. So you guys tell me in the comments down below if you know. And if you know which one it is, do you enjoy the property? Like, when they crossed over with like Princess Puny Punts, I'm pretty sure nobody knew what the game was or enjoyed it, but like they just liked the units because it was a pretty good banner for units. Well, okay, it had one broken unit and the rest of it was trash, but still. You guys tell me if you know what property it's from, if you enjoy it too. And so, looks like we've beaten this one. Gotta say, I think I can beat this gauntlet the whole way through. This banner, or this collab, is a lot more fun to play through than Evangelion, I will say. Not because Evangelion wasn't good, but because Evangelion, like, the bosses and the stages, the units they designed, are supremely broken. Like, they had stats that are just, you can't even fight it. Like at that stage in the game, you can mostly fight it with rushers. You have to use rushers a lot against those bosses because their stats are just unbeatable. Like you can't try and outstat those bosses, or like you really have to be reliant on the like they had a behemoth slayer type thing where there was just like a subcategory, a subtrait that they were tons stronger against. But the Evangelion banner was brutal, so I'm glad to see this one isn't as hard, but it's not a pushover either. Loving getting all these cat fruits. Very annoying when you see like you get a new unit and it's got a true form, but you're only 2 cat fruits short. So boom, add this to my tank cat, 69, almost at 70, which would make him like an eraser cat of plus 90. Well, no, I mean he has 90 levels in total, but I don't know if that's quite good. Upsetting that right as a collab comes around, I have no XP, but hopefully these stages change that. As these are all awakens, and then these, I have no idea what I'm getting into. So time scores. Ooh, okay. I was just saying I need XP, so this stuff looks great. I'm gonna design a rusher team. Just remove you, remove you, remove you, you. Okay, so Courier is always the go-to. You're also a pretty fast tank, or like Meat Shield. So boom, put you in there. I like just scrolling through to see what are the good options because you usually just default to the very broken ones, which I probably will do. But it's fun to just look through them and make decisions. So Courier Cat, Slime Cat, who else to bring? I did just get Manic Lion's true form. I might just bring that. Since since they have so many of these collab units designed, these stages are probably going to just be full of them. And if it's the same units as last time, I'm just going to go traitless and I'm going to go floating. So for floating, I bring you guys, and for traitless, I bring you and Hitman Cat. This is a first for me, having a loadout that has no Ubers at all. Um, as you guys know, if you're a longtime fan of the channel or if you're new, I love using Ubers. They just make the game a lot more fun. So you'll typically see me in a minimum 4 Uber loadout. So this is new to me, but it'd be pretty whack if I couldn't win without Ubers. So boom, all right, there's a floating enemy, so I'm just gonna send out Octopus. Then again, there is a traitless right behind her. But we'll get a yeah, okay. They're one shot, so these are super weak enemies. So I'm just gonna spam out these just units that are fast. Slime Cat just for that wave, just because it's always fun to watch. So boom, all right, there's the pigeon. I have no idea how lore-wise there is a talking pigeon with a sword. Well, I can't say that I know it's talking. Nobody talks in this game. But why there's a pigeon with a sword, I don't know. But I gotta say I do appreciate it. So I wonder how long all of these are. Three stages. Three stages, yeah. I wonder if any of these give units, but typically time stages don't have units. Oh my gosh. A city of flame, one stage, inferno. This is how we get healer. So this has just become the top priority. Healer is the super broken unit of this collab, so I need that. The thing is, I just fought healer, so I wonder if I'm just going to be fighting that boss again. Hopefully it's easy. It's only 7 stars, so I could probably just win it by bringing this team. But man, I mean, I've heard so much about this unit. Infamously, this unit can be used to cheese like the Cappy Kawano stage, and I'm reached the point where I can like beat that stage pretty easily. But it's funny to think that if I had gotten this banner earlier, I would have been able to cheese that stage and get one of the most broken like advent units there is, which is Teacher Bear Cat. So boom, I'm just gonna send out you. Probably could have permastalled there easily, but I don't think we need to necessarily. I'm gonna assume that this is gonna be an easy stage. Mark my words. Could be proven wrong, but we'll see. Definitely want D'Artagnan out. If it's the same healer, and no matter what it throws, really, it's just gonna be easy. Not easy. It's gonna be traitless, is what I meant to say. But look, this looks like it's just the same stage as the Gauntlet was, but with the Dark Doges, which does mix it up a little bit because, that means all these traitless and anti-floating will struggle a little bit more, but shouldn't struggle too much. So where is the boss? Hit the base, and is there no boss? Is the Wyvern the boss? I'll be surprised if that's the boss. All right, well, it is a 7-star difficulty stage. I shouldn't have expected more, but looks like we have done it. We have beat it, unless it has some crazy last-minute surprise. Boom. Just keep the meat shields up. Yeah, I've reached the point where, okay, these are the easy stages in the collab. Usually the ones with the big bosses are harder, but we have done it. We received Special Cat Healer. Plus, he's a Special Cat, so that means you can use him in 4 crowns. That is amazing. I had no clue. So, boom, let's just go over to him. He is a perma-freeze. He can perma-freeze any trait in the game, even traitless. Not metal enemies, which is quite annoying, but to be fair, one heck of a trade-off. It's worth it. And so I do think he needs freeze up combos to become like full perma freeze, but that is worth it. He has no stats, and that is a great thing because to perma freeze to perma stall, you don't want him to kill the enemy he's stalling. So let's just hop right into freeze or like Merc Storia Healer Awakens. So this stage, hopefully it's harder. I'm gonna assume it might be. There aren't a lot of traitless counters anyways, and usually the traitless counters like D'Artagnan are generalist anyways. So we're just gonna go with this team and hope it does well. I don't think Hitman outranges that healer that I saw. So we're just gonna assume maybe try and install this thing. Maybe I'll learn their names, but I really have no clue where this property is from, like Merc Storia, the brand. So boom, all right, there's a little person holding a whip. That's a little bit concerning. Okay, Eraser Cats killed that unit. That tells me a lot about how weak these units are if the Eraser Cat killed them. Um, yeah, that's just crazy. In fact, I could probably just leave this wall and they'll never die. Okay, well, they'll die eventually. But those are just the ones that were there first. So boom, just gonna stall, stall, stall. Now I can start to send out these two. These two can counter anything pretty easily because, just shredding DPS and any floating, they'll get knocked back. Which, to be fair, usually the traitless enemies and usually the traded enemies are the support to the traitless enemies because the traitless enemies have less counters. So it's really good to have like traded and traitless counters on your team. That being said, TED counters are a lot easier to find than traitless, but still, that's the way it goes. And why does that healer cat have a cat for a face instead of the healer? That looks incredibly cursed. I gotta admit, I saw that on a thumbnail and I thought I thought it was edited. So that looks crazy. But come on, D'Artagnan is just bullying him, and we destroyed the base before we even killed him. Healer Awakens beaten, but we didn't get the true form. Now, lucky us, I can just go back in there and boom, golden CPU, treasure radar. Oh, wait, never mind. Okay. I was going to do treasure radar on the first one, but I realized that I don't have to because there's a second stage. It's been so long since I've done an awaken stage, I kind of forgot that's how it works. Gotta admit though, I'm kind of happy for this because it means I don't have to waste a cat CPU, which is right now my like most favorite battle item. It's the one I use the most. It's the only one I farm for. That stuff is amazing, but you run out quick because it's so useful. So boom, healer awakens. Let's get right into it. I think this team should work. I mean, this team is overkill anyways. We've got four tanks, a bunch of Ubers, and two money combos. The most broken money combos in the game, that is. Look at all those traitless enemies. We are just going to stall them with these guys. Fun to get usage for the brainwashed Eraser Cat, just because he's a traitless tank, anti-traitless tank, who's pretty similar to like, I actually don't know, because I heard Row, but I don't think they're quite as strong as Row, because Row has a long cooldown, but a lot of health. So boom, yeah, he's just tanking like a boss. So boom, he's getting occasionally knocked back, but as long as he doesn't die, that's fine. So wonder if this you can easily permastall, but it depends on if the boss comes out on base hit or not. So did not mean to send out Kunio-kun. Um, yeah. No, he's gonna start killing them, and my plan to permastall is out the window. So to be fair though, another unit. Okay, it looks like the units are starting to spawn. Usually you would hit the base and then these units spawn anyways. So it's actually a little bit easier to get rid of them before I have to fight the boss. So let's get you out. Let's get you out. All right, should be good from here. Now I can just summon like D'Artagnan and he'll destroy everything. And then Dark Phono is just amazing crowd control. Plus his force swing means he never pushes into their range, which is amazing. Well, his backswing, that is. Force swing is the first one. Meanwhile, Matima, she has resist. She just tries to survive it with knockbacks. Her range isn't the best in the world, though. If it was better, though, she'd be too broken, I do think. So, can't really complain. And we've hit the base. Is there a boss that's going to come out? No? Kind of weird. Okay, I was gonna say it'd be weird if like the first stage had the boss in it and the second stage didn't, but it came out at 50% health instead of 100. It's a little bit more rare, but I guess it doesn't really make the difference in the stage. So boom, all of them are slowed. They can't push to the front line, and it gives me enough time for Dashley to attack. Dark Phono and Dashley are just a deadly combo. To be fair though, they are some of the hardest to get and strongest units in the game. So unfair to really say that they're strong. You know, they're beyond that. So boom, all right, all of these surges and attacks are going off. I've got three Epic Fest units on my team, I just realized. They're all Fest Ubers. Yeah, I might have an Uber carry problem. The funny thing is I have five on my team if you include Kunio-kun. But he's just a combo slave, so I don't really think that counts. So boom, and we have beat the stage, and these ones luckily have a 100% chance, so Special Cat Healer True Form received. All right, so let's just go right into it. Luckily, this was a lot cheaper than the other one, so I had actually the XP to get him maxed out. So let's go to Healer Cat. I'm just going to do this. Plus, as I said, Freeze is a little bit more rare of a gimmick, and especially more rare to pull off well. Like, you know, most of these Freeze units that I'm scrolling past right now do not have anywhere near a 100% Freeze chance, you know? Like, he doesn't. They just use Freeze as support because Perma-Freeze, usually you have to stack for it, and it's a very broken ability. So I'm actually kind of happy to get Healer Cat. I feel like he might make a really good generalist throughout like stories of legends or uncanny legends because there's a lot of times where I find like a stage with an old horn and I brought nothing to counter him. If I brought healer, I could counter him easily. So the hero of Merc Storia joins the fight, transformed into a cat by his own experiments. Area attacks have 100% freeze on all traits except metal. I gotta admit, this has always been one of the weirder targets to me, though. All traits except metal just feels like they were too afraid to say they can target every trait in the game. They just exclude metal, but metal is a weird trait, so. And all of the cyclone stages give you metal counters, So it'd be a bit redundant to have these units target metal because it kind of takes away the point of getting those units. But with all that being said, I've already had a ton of fun playing through this Merc Storia collab, and there's still tons of stages for me to play through. So leave in the comments what you'd like me to play through next, and I can't wait to make a video on that. Tell me if there's any other good units in this collab I should be wary for. Collabs are infamous for having tons of bad units, but I feel like this one's got potential. As my good friend Apergo of the channel has told me about quite a few good units, so you guys tell me what I should look out for in the comments down below, and I'll make sure to get them. Thank you so much for watching the video this far through. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I did making it. As always, leave in the comments what you'd like me to change my Battle Cats Officers Club badge to. This is not where I meant to go, but actually, I really should collect these. So, boom, here he is, the healer. All right, and then healer CC, which just gains color. Kind of funny that it goes from his little pet to a cat to both of them being cats. That looks really weird, but hey man, can't blame it. Still one of the most broken in the game, although that cat looks seriously messed up. So, boom, and where's the other one? It is a super rare. Is this it? No, I actually got three. So, boom. Yeah, tell me if this thing is good. I don't have high hopes. Seems like one of the throwaway units, but free user rank, so what can I say? And Ray. I feel like this one might be good, but then again, slow as a crowd control isn't the best. When we have Rodeo Cat who already does it and a lot better. But you guys tell me in the comments down below and tell me what you'd like me to change my Battle Cats Officers Club badge to. Whichever comment gets the most likes, I will change it to. And thank you so much for always watching the content, for always enjoying it. Just watching it this far through is all the support I ever need. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. I'm just going to continue to make content that you guys will enjoy. So thank you so much for watching. Without further ado, have an amazing day. I hope to see you in the next one. That's about it for now. Your favorite Omni-Crab, signing out.